Hello everyone, good evening. Today I will talk about another important main line of poverty reduction in China, urbanization. Strictly speaking, urbanization is not a policy of poverty reduction in China, but a progress of China's economic development. However, China has taken poverty reduction policy into account in the progress of urbanization. Therefore, China's urbanization and poverty reduction occurred together. And what policies have China introduced in the process of urbanization? The first is to build a lot of infrastructure. China has built a lot of infrastructure in a short time, such as highways, hospitals, schools, and housing. The construction of infrastructure has solved three problems. On the one hand, it has improved the functions of cities and enabled cities to adapt to the increase of floating population. On the other hand, it has solved employment problems, especially for farmers from rural areas to cities. The third aspect is to drive the development of the manufacturing industry. The materials and the products for building infrastructure need to be produced by enterprises, and these enterprises employed a large numbers of workers and improved the income of workers. And the third is the shanty areas rebuilding, which I think is the one of the most visionary policies for poverty reduction in China. Shanty areas rebuilding means that the temporary houses and old houses are bought by the Chinese government, and then the government builds new houses for the residents. Why? Because China's urbanization progress is very fast. A large numbers of floating population enter the city and build temporary shelters around the city. And also, there are many old buildings around the city. The living standard of the resident living here is very poor, which is similar to urban slums. So the Chinese government spent a lot of money to buy these houses and land, and then build new houses for these people. In other places to improve their living environment. This is an important reason that why there are no slums in China, and it can also reflect that the principle of China's poverty alleviation policy is to improve people's lives. So I think the shanty areas rebuilding is very profound policy, and from the perspective of economic beneficial, the scanty areas rebuilding is not very beneficial for the enterprises or the other government or the other or the short-term economic, but Chinese government spent lots of money to do this. Is very bravo, and I think is very profound for the long-term economic development. And the third is to establish economic development areas. The economic development areas are not a new concept. Many other countries also have similar policies. China's economic development areas cannot be regarded as a poverty alleviation policy, but they are very beneficial to poverty reduction. There are many enterprises of traditional manufacturing industries in the economic development areas, which absorb a lot of employment, and the Chinese government has also issued many policies around the economic development areas. So the economic development areas is become a very unique areas in the city. And what is very China's characteristic is that many economic development areas in China have become part of the city after improving their function, such as housing, medical treatment, and education. Many economic development areas in China are called new city areas, and even more popular than old city areas. This is a very interesting phenomenon, and I also need to study it more deeply. This is the main policies in China's urbanization process. And along with the agricultural reform and urbanization, China's economic has also developed very rapidly. At this time, China introduced a very special poverty alleviation policy, which is also the reason why China can ensure that the whole people get rid of poverty. I think this policy is very important and interesting in the poverty alleviation policies around the world. We will discuss this in the next video. That's all. If you are interested in poverty reduction or poverty alleviation in China, please connect me or comment after the video. Bye bye.